Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question that deserves an honest answer. Have you ever looked at someone who seems to have everything together and wondered, what do they know that I don't? Maybe it's the entrepreneur whose business continues to grow. Maybe it's the speaker who captivates every audience. Maybe it's the investor who seems to recognize opportunities before anyone else. Or perhaps it's someone in your own community who quietly built an extraordinary life, while everyone else was making excuses. People often assume that successful individuals possess some hidden talent, secret formula, or special advantage that ordinary people never receive. They imagine success is reserved for a fortunate few. But after studying successful people for many years, I discovered something interesting. They do have secrets, but they aren't the kind of secrets people intentionally hide. They're truths that most people simply don't want to hear because they require responsibility instead of excuses. Success has a way of exposing reality. It strips away comforting illusions and replaces them with principles that demand discipline, patience, and consistent effort. These principles are available to everyone, yet only a small percentage of people choose to live by them every day. Today, I want to share 7 truths that many successful people rarely talk about openly. Not because they are selfish, but because these lessons are often learned through experience rather than conversation. If you understand these principles and begin applying them, they can completely change the direction of your life. Let's begin. 1. Nobody is coming to rescue you. One of the hardest lessons successful people learn is that sooner or later, they become responsible for their own lives. As children, we depend on parents. At school, we depend on teachers. At work, we often expect managers to guide us. But there comes a moment when maturity demands something different. It asks us to stop waiting and start leading ourselves. Many people spend years waiting for someone to discover them. They wait for the perfect opportunity. They wait for encouragement. They wait for better economic conditions. They wait for confidence. Unfortunately, while they wait, life keeps moving. Successful people eventually stop asking, "Who will help me?" and begin asking, "What can I do today with what I already have?" That question changes everything. History is filled with people who began with very little. They didn't possess unlimited money or influential connections. What they had was a willingness to act before conditions were perfect. The truth is that life rarely rewards hesitation. Every day you postpone learning a new skill, someone else is mastering it. Every day you postpone starting your business, someone else launches theirs. Every day you postpone improving yourself, someone else becomes more valuable. This isn't meant to discourage you, it's meant to wake you up. Your future begins the moment you stop expecting someone else to build it for you. Nobody can read books on your behalf. Nobody can exercise for you. Nobody can develop your discipline. Nobody can create your character. The responsibility and the opportunity belongs entirely to you. That realization is not a burden, it is freedom. Because once you accept responsibility, you also gain control over your future. 2. Success is often boring before it becomes exciting. People admire the championship, very few admire the practice. They celebrate the successful company. They rarely appreciate the years spent struggling to build it. They notice the beautiful house. They ignore the thousands of ordinary mornings that made it possible. One of the greatest misconceptions about success is that it feels exciting every day. It doesn't. In reality, success is often built through routines so ordinary that they appear insignificant. Reading 20 pages every morning, saving a small percentage of every paycheck, practicing a skill for 1 extra hour, making 1 additional sales call, going to bed early instead of staying distracted. None of these actions seem extraordinary on a single day. But repeated over 5 years, 10 years, they produce extraordinary results. The problem is that modern society has trained people to seek constant excitement. We want instant progress, instant wealth, instant recognition, instant confidence. Nature doesn't work that way. The farmer understands this better than most people. He plants, he waters, he waits. He continues working even though the harvest remains invisible. Successful people think exactly like that. They trust consistent effort even when immediate results are absent. That's why patience has become one of the rarest competitive advantages in today's world. If you can remain committed while others become distracted, your future immediately begins separating itself from the crowd. 3. You will outgrow some people. This lesson surprises many people because nobody enjoys talking about it. Growth changes relationships. As your standards rise, your conversations change. As your ambitions grow, your priorities shift. As your discipline increases, your habits become different. Not everyone will understand that transformation. Some people will encourage your growth, others will quietly resent it. The difficult part is realizing that not everyone who starts the journey with you is meant to finish it with you. That doesn't make them bad people. It simply means people grow in different directions. Imagine climbing a mountain. The higher you climb, the fewer people continue climbing beside you, not because the mountain is unfair, because each level demands greater commitment. Successful people eventually become comfortable making difficult choices. They choose purpose over popularity, growth over comfort, vision over approval. And while those choices may feel lonely for a season, they create opportunities that would otherwise remain impossible. Protect your environment, protect your mindset, protect your future. The voices surrounding you eventually become the thoughts inside you. Choose them wisely. 4. Confidence comes after action, not before. Perhaps the greatest lie people believe is this: when I become confident, then I'll begin. Successful people know the opposite is true. Confidence is earned. It grows through experience. Think back to the first time you drove a car. You were probably nervous. The first presentation you gave, your hands likely shook. The first interview, the first business meeting, the first investment, the first speech, none of those moments felt comfortable, but every repetition made you stronger. Confidence isn't something you discover, it's something you build. Brick by brick, action by action, decision by decision. Every courageous step tells your brain something important. I survived, I learned, I improved. Slowly, fear begins losing its influence. Unfortunately, most people reverse the process. They wait to feel ready before acting. As a result, they never gain the very confidence they are waiting for. If you want greater confidence tomorrow, take greater action today. Not reckless action, purposeful action. Small steps repeated consistently become extraordinary momentum. Remember this: courage always walks into the room before confidence does. Confidence simply arrives later and introduces itself. Now, if you've stayed with me this far, you've probably noticed something important. None of these lessons are complicated. They don't require genius. They don't require extraordinary luck. They require something much more challenging. They require consistency. The principles that build an extraordinary life are usually simple to understand, but difficult to practice. That's why so few people apply them. Let's continue with the next truth. 5. Success costs more than most people are willing to pay. Whenever people see someone living an extraordinary life, they usually notice the rewards. They see the financial freedom. They see the influence. They see the confidence. They see the opportunities. What they don't see is the price that was paid long before the rewards appeared. Every meaningful achievement has a cost. If you want excellent health, the price is discipline. If you want financial freedom, the price is learning how money works and controlling your spending when everyone else is chasing instant gratification. If you want a respected career, the price is becoming so skilled that people cannot ignore your value. If you want a strong family, the price is investing your time, your patience, and your presence. The question isn't whether success has a price. The question is whether you're willing to pay it. Too many people want championship results with recreational effort. They want the harvest without planting. They want confidence without preparation. They want wealth without developing value. Life doesn't negotiate with those expectations. It simply follows principles. Imagine two people beginning the same journey. One spends an extra hour every evening reading, practicing, and improving. The other spends that hour complaining, scrolling endlessly, or wishing life were different. For a week, you notice almost no difference. After a month, the gap is still small. But after 5 years, they appear to be living completely different lives. Not because one person was luckier, because one person quietly paid the price every single day. Successful people understand delayed gratification. They willingly sacrifice what feels good now for something far greater later. They don't see discipline as punishment. They see it as an investment. Every disciplined decision is a deposit into the future. Every excuse is a withdrawal. The remarkable thing is that life keeps perfect records. Eventually, everyone receives exactly what they've been investing in. So ask yourself honestly, what price am I paying every day? Because whether you realize it or not, you're always paying for something. You're either paying the price of discipline now or the price of regret later. One builds your future, the other steals it. 6. Your income will rarely exceed the value you create. One of the biggest misconceptions about money is that people are simply paid for their time. Time matters, but value matters more. Think about it. Two people can work the same number of hours every week and earn dramatically different incomes. Why? Because the marketplace rewards problems solved, skills mastered, and value delivered. A doctor spends years developing specialized knowledge. An engineer learns to solve complex problems. An entrepreneur creates solutions people are willing to pay for. A salesperson learns how to communicate effectively. Each one increases their value before they increase their income. Many people spend years asking for better pay. while refusing to become more valuable, but income usually follows growth. If you become twice as valuable, opportunities begin multiplying naturally. That doesn't happen overnight. It happens through learning, reading, practicing, failing, improving, repeating. One of the best habits you can develop is asking yourself this simple question every morning: how can I become more valuable today than I was yesterday? Maybe it's reading another chapter. Maybe it's improving your communication. Maybe it's learning technology that others avoid. Maybe it's becoming more dependable. Maybe it's simply becoming someone people can trust. Value compounds exactly like money. Small improvements accumulate. Eventually, people begin noticing something different about you, not because you demanded attention, because your abilities became impossible to ignore. Never chase money directly. Chase excellence. Money often follows excellence. The person who focuses only on earning usually becomes frustrated. The person who focuses on becoming valuable eventually discovers that opportunities begin finding them. Your reputation becomes your resume. Your character becomes your advertisement. Your consistency becomes your greatest recommendation. Become so dependable that people think of your name before they think of anyone else. That's how lasting success is built. 7. The hardest person you'll ever lead is yourself. This may be the most important lesson of all. Leadership doesn't begin with leading a company. It begins with leading yourself. Can you keep your promises when nobody is watching? Can you stay disciplined when motivation disappears? Can you continue learning after success begins? Can you remain humble when recognition finally arrives? These questions determine your future far more than any outside circumstance. Most people believe their biggest obstacles are external: the economy, competition, bad timing, unfair circumstances. Sometimes those challenges are real, but more often the greatest obstacle lives in the mirror. It's the voice that whispers, "Skip today, you can start next week. You're not ready. It probably won't work." Every successful person has heard that voice. The difference is they learn not to obey it. Self-leadership means making decisions based on principles instead of emotions. Feelings change. Principles endure. There will be mornings when you don't feel like exercising. Do it anyway. Days when you don't feel like studying. Study anyway. Moments when quitting feels reasonable. Take one more step. Because every time you choose discipline over comfort, you strengthen something inside yourself that no one can ever take away. Your self-respect grows, your confidence deepens, your character becomes stronger. Eventually, people begin calling you successful, but what they don't realize is that your greatest victory happened long before they noticed. It happened the day you learned to govern your own habits, to master your own thinking, to become responsible for your own choices. That is where every lasting success begins. As we come to the end of this conversation, I want you to remember something that could change your life forever. The world doesn't belong to the smartest people. It doesn't always belong to the most talented. It rarely belongs to the luckiest, more often than not. It belongs to those who refuse to stop growing, those who keep learning when others stop, those who remain disciplined when others become distracted, those who stay humble after success and hopeful after failure. Think about where you are today, not where you wish you were, not where someone else is. Where you are. Now ask yourself one question: who could I become if I committed myself to improving every single day? Don't underestimate the power of that question. The person you become over the next 5 years will largely be determined by the books you read, the habits you build, the people you spend time with, and the standards you refuse to compromise. Remember these 7 truths? No one is coming to rescue you. Success is usually boring before it becomes exciting. Growth may require leaving some people behind. Confidence follows action. Every worthwhile achievement has a price. Income follows value. The greatest leader you'll ever manage is yourself. None of these principles promise overnight success, but together they create something much more valuable. A life built on character instead of convenience. A future built on discipline instead of excuses. A legacy built on service instead of selfishness. Years from now, people may look at your life and call you fortunate. Smile, because you'll know something they don't. You'll know that every victory was built through hundreds of invisible decisions. The mornings you chose growth over comfort. The evenings you chose learning over entertainment. The moments you refused to quit when no one would have blamed you for walking away. Those were the decisions that changed everything. So leave today with a simple commitment. Don't wait for the perfect opportunity. Become the kind of person who is prepared when opportunity arrives. Don't chase success, chase growth. Don't chase applause, chase excellence. And never forget this: the quality of your future will never be determined by what happens to you. It will always be determined by the person you choose to become. Keep learning, keep serving, keep growing, and above all, never stop investing in the greatest asset you will ever own: yourself.